Well, the next 2 months with kids out of school, it's always a flurry of activities with families looking forward to vacation. Our frugal mom, Sammy Cohn, is here with the scoop on how to make a summer budget, because we really can add all those expenses and fun things to do and blow the budget.
Oh, very easy to do in the summer. And really, we only have these 2 months. You know, this is a great time of year to do this because sometimes a yearly budget can seem really overwhelming, but this is such a good time to not only get that mid-year checkpoint, but if you've never done a budget before, we've got some really easy steps to make it more manageable so you can still have a fun summer and it doesn't have to be a scary, strict summer.
Good. So where do we start?
Okay, so we talk about starting reactively so that you can be proactive. So if you've never done a budget before, look at what you spent just last month. And you can do this by looking at not only receipts, but credit card bills or bank statements. And you need to get a pulse on what you've spent is where you need to start. And the first is your non-negotiables. So we're talking things like your mortgage or rent, utilities, anything that you have to spend every month. You need to know what that is and put it on paper before you do anything else.
Okay.
So that's step one.
Okay. Step two then is things that you can flex with a little bit.
Right. I call them my fixed negotiables because they're things that you're going to spend every month, but they might not look the same every month. So we're talking about things like eating out or grocery shopping, personal care, haircuts or toiletries that you buy, and gas, right? So those things are going to vary greatly each month. You need to determine your own averages. So what I mean by that is look back a little further beyond just May. Maybe look back at this spring. What did you spend total for those 3 months? Maybe, for May, April, March. Yeah. And then create an average so that you have a starting point where you know where to go. For instance, when we were living further outside of the city, we were spending $600 a month on gas. We didn't know we could afford, a more expensive house payment because once we moved into the city, we were only spending $100 a month. So if you don't know those things, you don't know what you can spend.
Sure.
You need to be able to have those averages.
Okay, so we need to list our goals and then start tracking our spending.
Right. So what are your goals for the summer? Do you want to put a pool in? Do you want to take a summer vacation? Do you just want to be able to go to the movies every week? You need to be able to have that conversation, not just with your spouse or, but with your family. Get everyone on board. So if you want to take a vacation next month and you've already budgeted for that, maybe you haven't budgeted for your meals. You spend $100 a week normally. That week you're going to spend $200. Well, now
you're talking about eating out.
For eating out, I'm sorry. Yes, yeah. I'm sorry, for eating out on your vacation. Well, take your budget down to $75 a week this month so that you have that extra $200 and you're not really going to miss it. But if you don't plan accordingly this month, you're going to be frozen next month.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, you talk about giving everyone an allowance, including yourself.
Right. So the idea, again, it's kind of like going on a diet. If you come in and say to the family, we're going on a diet, we're throwing out all the cakes and cookies and chips and all the fun things, everyone kind of just throws their hands up and balks at it. But if you come in and say, you know what, we're going to add some healthy vegetables from the garden this summer, your kids and everyone's going to be more willing. The same goes with spending. So don't just say we're taking everything away. Say, you know what, I know you want to buy a dog this month. Let's have, here's this much money that you can spend, or summer clothing, or, a sporting event, whatever it is. Give them a framework to work within, and then allow especially your kids to really determine their own decisions. They say, I want to get this. Well, you know what? You have enough money for that, but if you do, you can't get anything next month. And then you're not the bad guy. You're teaching them some responsibility while they're under your roof so they can be more responsible fiscally when they're outside of your home.
And knowing mom and dad are under those same rules kind of helps too.
It is, and that's why there's a lot of great apps. A lot of your banks will have great apps, but I love pencil and paper for things like this. One, because it lets my kids see what I'm doing. If you're doing it all privately, they're never going to learn. And the same way, if you're not under a budget, they're never going to learn what it means to be under a budget.
Right. Some really good advice, Sammy. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. You can find more good saving ideas on her website at sammycohn.com. That's Sammy with an I.